Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into Lesson 15, and we're exploring what we like to call the Bridge Builder Tournament. We're going to take a super focused look at database contactivity, stripping away all the extra noise to evaluate exactly how different architectural choices handle data when they're put under some serious pressure. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. We already know the stakes of connecting an app to a database, right? You guys know this stuff, so we're completely skipping the basics today. The ultimate question we're answering is simply, which driver will actually win the efficiency race? We're taking these established connectivity methods and putting them to the ultimate test to see which architecture really delivers when the whole system is under load.
Now, to truly understand this matchup, we kind of have to acknowledge the entire field of competitors. Historically speaking, the foundation of JDBC connectivity relies on exactly 4 distinct architectural approaches, 4 classic types. And every single time you're working with data, you're leaning on the engineering behind one of these foundational methods. They basically represent the complete evolutionary spectrum of how we solve database communication.
But for our exhibition matchup today, we're zeroing in strictly on Type 1 versus Type 4. We are entirely bypassing the middle of the pack here to pit the two absolute extreme ends of the architectural spectrum right against each other.
Let's start with our first competitor, the Type 1 driver. This architecture is really defined by its reliance on bridges that come with some incredibly heavy binary overhead. But, what does that actually mean under the hood? Well, it means it relies on an intermediate layer, something like an ODBC bridge or native OS libraries, to translate your Java calls. Think of it like a massive, clunky steel drawbridge. Sure, it gets the job done, but it requires immense mechanical effort. Or in our case, continuous, heavy translation through native code, meaning it carries a massive amount of structural weight into absolutely every single data transaction.
Now contrast that with the Type 4 driver. Type 4 takes an entirely different structural approach. We're talking pure Java direct links. Instead of relying on a C library or some OS-level middleman to do all the translating, Type 4 translates JDBC calls directly into the database's vendor-specific native protocol, right there within the JVM. It's streamlined, it's native to the environment, and it establishes this high-speed, completely frictionless connection straight to the database engine.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark architectural contrast in resource allocation. On one hand, you've got this bulky, resource-intensive bridging that basically demands constant native translation. And on the other hand, you have incredibly streamlined direct execution communicating natively. I mean, the engineering philosophies here simply couldn't be more profoundly different.
So let's put them to the test. It is time for our main event, sorting through database calls. Because the true measure of these architectures isn't just a straight-line connection, right? It's how they actively process queries, manage requests, and actually return that data when they're put under continuous load.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how those deep architectural differences actually manifest during execution. Let's look at the play-by-play here. As both drivers start sorting through their database calls, the legacy approach of Type 1 really starts straining under the weight of its own translation layers. It's continuously shifting back and forth between Java and native OS calls. It's exhausting. Meanwhile, the modern approach of Type 4, it literally just slices right through those exact same queries. Because it's already speaking the native protocol directly, there's absolutely zero extra translation needed. It's just a highly efficient, straight-shot path from query to result.
So, the crucial point is, the takeaway from this efficiency race is completely undeniable. At the finish line, the bulky overhead of a bridged connection simply cannot keep pace with the optimized execution of a direct, pure protocol link. Stripping away those intermediary translation layers, that isn't just a minor optimization, guys. It is the fundamental key to achieving raw performance in software architecture.
Which leaves us with one final and honestly vital question to think about. How do these heavy bridges versus pure direct links impact your own database architecture choices? Seriously, the next time you're setting up a new system, or maybe you're pulling your hair out troubleshooting a random latency spike in an existing one, I want you to audit your stack. Are there hidden bottlenecks in your architecture where you're accidentally relying on a slow, heavy translation layer when you could be utilizing a lightning-fast direct link? Really think critically about those hidden layers as you design your own solutions. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.